The morning bell pretty much solo ceremony. Vowing that the sound of this bell pervades the universal Dharma realm, bringing luminous white light to the black iron perimeter of hell, removing in an instant the suffering caused by the three evil ways. A mountain of swords is destroyed, and all sentient beings enter enlightenment together. Homage to the Master Teacher, Vairocana Buddha, compassionate Lord of the lotus-born universe, expounding the treasured verses of the sacred golden texts contained within precious cases written on jade scrolls. Each dust mote interpenetrates the universe, and the universe becomes one. Every realm is united with all other worlds. The truth is contained in the 1,095,048 words of the utmost vehicle's consummate teaching. Homage to the Avatamsaka Sutra expounded by the Buddha. To understand the Buddhas of endless time, just penetrate this phrase: everything is created by mind alone. The mantra of shattering hell. Namuta Shijinam Samyak Samota Shijinam Om Abhavada Jiri Jiri Hum. Namu Ata Shijinam Yaksamato Jichinam Om Abhavada Jiri Jiri Hum. Namu Ata Shijinam Samyak Samato Jichinam Om Baba Jiri Jiri Hum. Vowing now for the rest of my life not to give rise to extraneous thoughts, following only Amitabha Buddha. Thought after thought will constantly merge with the rays of his jade-like brilliance, each instant never leaving the qualities of his golden form. Holding a mala and bearing witness to the universal Dharma realm, empty space is but a thread leaving nothing unconnected. There is nowhere that Vairocana Buddha is not present equally. Through contemplation, seek Amitabha of the Western Shore. Homage to the great teaching master, Lord of the Western Shore, the Buddha, the Tathagata of infinite light. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. The land of ultimate bliss has 10 kinds of adornment. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. It is adorned with the Dharmakara's vow, his cultivation cause. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with the power of Amitabha's 48 vows. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with Amitabha's name and the brilliance of his life force. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with the bejeweled images observed by the three Mahasattvas. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with the peaceful bliss of Amitabha's Western world. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with the bejeweled rivers running with pure and meritorious waters. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with the bejeweled basilicas with halls of wish-fulfilling jewels. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with lengthy days and nights. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with the Pure Land's 24 kinds of pleasures. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Adorned with the 30 kinds of beneficial merit. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Amitabha Buddha, who is unparalleled in heaven or on earth. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. He is also unmatched throughout the world of the 10 directions. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. He has seen the annihilation of self in everything in the world. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. There is no one who is like Amitabha Buddha. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. He can keep track of the thoughts as numerous as all the dust motes in the universe. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. He can quaff all the waters in the universe. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. He can control the wind that fills space. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. No one can completely describe that Buddha's merits. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Amitabha Buddha is omnipresent. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Keep your thoughts on him and never forget. As thoughts probe that place of no thought, the 6 sense gates will constantly emanate light of purple and gold. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. Amitabha's face, like the full moon, is at the front of the hall of ultimate bliss. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. His jade excrescence and his gold form radiate through space. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. If a person call his name for only a moment, they will instantly consummate immeasurable merit. Homage to Amitabha Buddha. along with all sentient beings I vow, together to enter the sea of Amitabha's great vows, and to ferry across sentient beings so that I and others may simultaneously complete the path to Buddhahood. The sublime mantra of the original mind of Amitabha Buddha. Anyata Om Aritara Savaha. 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 Aritara
time, could we have our incense lighters come forward, please? If everyone would like to follow along with our incense gatha, find it on page. On page 2. Together we say, in gratitude, we offer this incense throughout space and time to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May it be fragrant as earth herself, reflecting careful efforts, wholehearted awareness, and the fruit of understanding slowly ripening. May we and all beings be companions of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May we awaken from forgetfulness and realize our true home.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's wonderful, very wonderful to be here and see a lot of familiar faces and a lot of friends that just haven't met yet. Knowing that there are 0 degrees of separation between any of us here, and truly believing that This is a very wonderful and I call it auspicious occasion. One that I don't get to do very often, but today I am ordaining as a monk the last of the students that I will be ordaining. Jing. By the way, for those of you who don't know me, I'm the Venerable Am Ko Su Sunam. I was originally ordained at not ordained. I originally received the precepts at Myoshinji Temple in Monroe, Wisconsin, which is a Soto Zen community, Japanese, thus the Rakusu. And then when I heard there was going to be a new temple in Grand Rapids, I immediately found out the teacher's information, called him, and was one of the first 3 people through the doors of our previous temple, which we outgrew very quickly. But I remember the painting and we were next to a restaurant, and the wall stubborn. The oven and stoves were on this wall, and the paint kept running because it was so hot. But just remember the growing and the sense of growth and the sense of energy and the sense of oneness and beingness. And I remember I was about 3 years into my studies toward becoming a monk when Dakwon, our previous abbot, called me into his office, which is now the media room. And I sat across from him on a cushion. And he said, I'm quoting him now. He said, Amko, I think you are probably one of the most intelligent students I've ever had. I mean, you have multiple degrees, you're a published author, you're so well read. I said, I have to believe you're one of the most intelligent students I've ever had. Well, I was getting a little puffed up about that. And then he said the 4 words that have forever changed my life as a Buddhist and as a monk. But you lack wisdom. Oof. And it startled me. And I just stared at him and I said, well, what's the difference? And he said to me what most Buddhist teachers say to their students when they ask a stupid question like that. Go sit with it. I sat with it for 6 months. Now I was, my professional life, I was a family therapist who specialized in working with family-owned businesses around the world. And I had a business, it was a business of yacht builders in Miami. Now I would go down and see them about once a month. I'd fly out on a Friday afternoon and then I'd take the red-eye back Sunday night in time to be back in my office Monday morning. And when I'd usually go in and say, okay, what are you up against? And they would give me this litany of things that they were struggling with, and I would give them answers. I knew what they needed to do. And then I went in one time about 6 months after I began my quest. Thank you. And something didn't feel right. as I sat down in their boardroom across from all of them, there's 3 generations of yacht builders, and I simply asked the question, tell me what's going on. And they told me. And I said, okay, and what do you think about that? And they told me, well, what do you see as some possible ways that you could move out of that thing that's not working for you? And they thought, and they told me. By the end of those days, by Sunday afternoon, every problem that they had set before me, they had solved themselves. And that's when I knew. I came back in and I requested a meeting with Duffield. I sat down with him, I explained the situation, what had happened that weekend. And he looked at me. He had this tiny little smirk, as only he could do. And he said, now you know the difference between intelligence and wisdom. Because intelligence talks, but wisdom listens. Such a profound moment in my life. It changed the way I looked at everything. Intelligence talks, but wisdom listens. I tell that story to all of my students. I told it to Jing. He probably remembers it well. Okay. And there were also things that I told him, and he said, well, what do you mean? And guess what I told him? Go sit with it. And he would sit with it, and he would come back. I'd give him the same little smirk, and I'd say, now you understand. It's a wonderful journey we're on. We're all on. Every one of us in this room, we're on this journey. We all have inherent Buddha nature, you know that. It's in us whether we want it or not. I've told some people that today, no I don't, I'm a Baptist. Okay, you're a Baptist, but let me tell you, you still got Buddha nature. It's in there. Some people realize it, for some people it comes out and it grows and it expands and it changes their worldview. I got to a point where, this time of year especially, there are, especially deer, dead deer along the road. But every time I would see a dead animal on the road, and I would simply have the thought, may you be well on your journey. And then I'd let it go. I find myself saying that a lot, really. But it is a journey. I've recently been diagnosed with what will ultimately be a terminal illness. And that's why Jing is my last student. And I couldn't be prouder of him. He has done all the work, far exceeded my expectations in everything he did, every paper he wrote, every discussion we had. He far exceeded those expectations. And when I told him about the diagnosis, he said, well, how do you feel about that? And I said, I'm so glad I read Thich Nhat Hanh's book, No Death, No Fear, a long time ago. And I've read it many, many times since. Knowing that when I leave this realm, I'm not gone. I just become part of the divine essence. And where I go from there, who knows? But that's not the end. It's simply the beginning of something new. We all need to keep that in mind. This is just a small part of our journey. I started out as a speck of stardust and will probably return to that speck of stardust. That divine, eternal presence that goes on and on and on. That connects every one of us. Now we will begin the ceremony to ordain my brother, Jing. Presented me his robe, his rakusu, and his bowl in full preparedness to be the Buddha. I would like all of you to take your ritual book and turn to page 4. That's where I believe the heart sutra is. That's where you should have it. Where the heart sutra is. Please stand. Okay. And we'll recite together.
Dharma Prajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra Bodhisattva of great compassion from the deep practice of prajna, paramita, receive the emptiness of all 5 skandhas and deliver all beings from their suffering. O Shariputra, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form. Form is emptiness, emptiness form. The same is true of feeling, thought, impulse, and consciousness. O Shariputra, all dharmas are empty. They are not born nor annihilated. They are not defiled
defiled nor immaculate. They do not increase nor decrease. So in emptiness, no form, no feeling, no thought, no impulse, no consciousness. No eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. No form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or objects of mind. No realm of sight, no realm of consciousness. No ignorance, no extinction of ignorance. No old age and death, nor extinction of them. No suffering, no cause of suffering, no cease from suffering, no path to lead out of suffering, no knowledge, no attainment, no realization, for there is nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva holds on to nothing but prajna, paramita. Therefore the mind is clear of any delusive hindrance. Without hindrance there is no fear. Away from all delusive views, one reaches final nirvana. All Buddhas of past, present, and future, through faith in prajna, paramita, attain to the highest perfect enlightenment. Know then the prajna, paramita, is the great Dharani, the radiant fearless mantram, the utmost supreme mantram, which is capable of allaying all pain. This is true beyond all doubt. Proclaim now the highest wisdom, the prajna, paramita. Gate, gate, aragate, arasamgate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, aragate, arasamgate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, aragate, arasamgate, bodhisvaha. Dhamma prajna paramita hridaya sutra.
You may be seated. Thank you. What is Dharma? What does Dharma mean in general? What does Dharma mean to you personally? In the Dhammapada, one of my all-time favorite books, at one time I bought 30 copies of it just to keep giving them away. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha states this: one who sees the Dharma sees me. One who sees me sees the Dharma. O monks and wise men, just as a goldsmith would test his gold by burning, cutting, and rubbing it, so you must examine my words and accept them, not merely out of reverence to me, My teaching is not a philosophy. It is a result of direct experience. My teaching is a means of practice, not something to hold on to or worship. My teaching is like a raft used to cross the river. Only a fool would carry the raft around after he had already reached the other shore of liberation. If you were to follow the Dharma purely out of love for me or because you respect me, I would not accept you as a disciple. But if you follow the Dharma because you have yourself experienced its truth, because you understand and act accordingly, not only these conditions have you the right to call yourself the disciple of the Exalted One. So what is required then to become a monk? This is a complex question with a simple answer. First, knowledge is not enough. You can know the Dharma, know the teachings, have read all the texts, and still not prepared to teach the Dharma as a monk and carry out the prescribed duties of a monk. A Buddhist teacher once said, and I think it was Akhenchan, a mule could carry all of the text of Buddhism all over the countryside, and it would still be a mule after all was said and done. Many of you have studied the Dharma to great length. Some of you in this very room that I know have studied the Dharma to great length. Others are only at the beginning of your journey. I give you great credit for being brave enough to accept the journey. Since we all possess Buddha nature, the innate ability to grasp the Dharma, it is within reach for all of us. So Akhenchan asked this question also: what is Dharma? And then he answered the question with this: nothing isn't. There is nothing that isn't Dharma. He goes on to say, it is a teaching, but not in words. So still the mind, the heart, and learn to watch. I would add to that, learn to watch and listen. You'll find the whole Dharma revealing itself here and now. At what other time and place are you going to look? But this is some kind of sweet fruit. Even though the fruit is sweet, we must rely on contact and experience of that fruit before we will know what the taste is like. Now that fruit, even though no one tastes it, is sweet all the same. But no one knows it. Even though it's the truth, it isn't true for those who really don't know it. No matter how excellent or fine it may be, it is worthless to them. Outwardly, scriptural study is not important. Of course, the Dharma books are correct, but they are not right. They cannot give you right understanding. To see the word anger in print is not the same as experiencing anger. Only experiencing for yourself can give you the true faith. So, to become a monk of the true Dharma, it is not enough to know about the true Dharma. It is not even enough to experience the true Dharma.
To become a true Dharma monk, one must study, prepare themselves, and when they are ready, become one with the Dharma. 0 degrees of separation. I am the Dharma. Jingsu is the Dharma. Many of in this room know this. You are the Dharma. They're not just words. They're not just facts. They are life itself. They must become the breathing, living, conscious, and unconscious Dharma. This is the path of the monk. So today we are given the most wonderful and unique opportunity to ordain a new monk, Jingsu. Today, having completed all of the requirements and training necessary, as well as having demonstrated himself over and over and over again to me, his teacher, to be the living Dharma, we as a part of the Sangha are presented with this wonderful opportunity to be part of this blessed ceremony. Jingsu, will you please join me? Jingsu, do you vow to teach only the pure Dharma as you understand it, as handed down from Shakyamuni Buddha through countless eons of the beginningless and endless numbers of monks who have come before you and will arrive after you? Do you vow to support the loving and compassionate Sangha members who sit before you with the entirety of your understanding and being, as well as help those suffering beings wherever and whenever they may be encountered? Do you commit to be under the authority of the Grand Rapids Buddhist Temple and the rules which have been set down before you as a monk? Will you endeavor to be an engaged and active member to the Sangha and to the clergy team which has embraced your journey? Having made these commitments before all Buddhas, past, present, and future, the board of directors, monks, and clergy staff, it is our pleasure to confer upon you the title of monk, the Venerable Jingsu Sunam, with all of the rights, roles, and responsibilities that go along with that title. Do you accept this position? When one becomes a monk, they receive marks. The Venerable Jingsu will receive being marked by these 3 sticks of incense on his arm, which represent 3 jewels: the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Are you prepared to accept the monk? That would help me when I receive my marks. You're going to need some Neosporin for that. Dan. Now, before you, one of the sheets of paper you have is called the Sangha Dedication to the Monk. And we say together, we see in ourselves all of our teachers, the ones who show us the way of love and understanding, the way to breathe, smile, forgive, and love deeply in the present moment. We see through our teachers many generations, going back to the ones who began our spiritual family thousands of years ago. We see all the Buddhists, the patriarchs, the matriarchs, our teachers, and all our spiritual ancestors. We see their energy that many generations of teachers have entered you and us, and creating peace, joy, and understanding, loving kindness in us. We know that the energy of those teachers has deeply transformed the world. Without the Buddhas, all these spiritual ancestors, we would not know the way to practice to bring peace and happiness into our lives and into the lives of our families and society. We wish for you to open your heart and your body to receiving the energy of understanding, loving kindness, and compassion from the awakening ones, their teachings, and their community of practice over many generations. You are their continuation. We ask these spiritual ancestors to transmit to you their infinite source of energy, peace, stability, understanding, and love. Please remain standing as the Venerable Jing soon reads the teacher dedication to the Sangha.
I vow to transform the suffering, myself and the world, and to transmit the energy of my spiritual ancestors to you and future generations of practitioners. My spiritual ancestors may have had their own difficulties, not always been able to transmit the teaching, and I know that I will encounter none, but I accept them and myself as I am. I know that I may not always be mindful in my daily life, but that others may suffer as a result, but I vow to do my best to honor the teachers and teachings that have come down to me. I know that I am fortunate to arrive here at this time when I am supported, encouraged, and loved. Gratitude and compassion, I bow down to all my love.
For the Venerable Buddha. 3 bows to the Buddha. Sangha. Please give 3 bows to your teacher. The Venerable Bakwan Sunam set a precedent when he arrived here from Korea, that as we and our own students, we would pass on to them our personal lineage. Black robe of our lineage, This is the rock suit of our lineage. It says on the pack the very same thing it says on the back of mine. Vast is a robe of compassion, a formless field of benefaction. I wear the Buddhist teachings for the benefit of all sentient beings. Presented this day, November 9, 2025, the year of our Buddha, 2546, by myself, and that includes my child. I present this to you. Mala worn on the right hand celebrates the three jewels, the Buddha, the Dharma, and Sangha. Worn on the left hand, it celebrates loving kindness and compassion. Some people wear them on both, just for that reason. I present to you both. In the earliest of Buddhist traditions, all Buddhist ordinance followers of the Buddha had to give them both. And they would go from door to door and they would collect food. And the rule was, see, people think that all Buddhists are vegetarians. No. The rule was, you must eat whatever was put in your bowl. Nothing must go to waste. It is actually rumored that the Buddha died from eating bad pork. Okay? But it's representative of whatever comes your way, no matter what it is. Eat it up. Take it in. Embrace it. Ordination, teaching monk and 28 holder, the Venerable Jing Sunu. I also present to you, this is a lineage chart. It starts out, guess where? Shakyamuni. And the first of the Indian ancestors is his cousin Ananda, which he ordained. Now let me explain lineage. It's like you have this bush, not a tree, a bush that has a long, thin, sturdy stem and roots that go all over the place. And then a branch, another branch, and branches off that branch, branches off that branch, and branches off that branch until you have millions and millions and millions of branches. So we have listed all of the Indian ancestors. Then it was passed on to Haiwu, the first of the Chinese ancestors. And then it was passed on to the Korean ancestors. And the last of the Korean ancestors, that one, my teacher. He was ordained in Korea. Then we have American ancestors. I'm the first of the American ancestors. The Venerable Jing Sunu is the second. This has my stand, that one stand, and the temple stand. I present this to you. before we do read on this, like to say anything to the Sangha and then we'll open? Sure.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for supporting me on this journey. It's been an adventure. Thank you to my family. Thank you to Sangha. Thank you to the preceptors. Thank you. Thank you to all. It's a really fun beginning. So excited to see where we go from here. And should do.
Did you want to do? Sure.
All right, please be seated. We'll go through the temple announcement. Your meditation. Wow, let's start the short period. Find a comfortable place. Seated. At this point, we like to share some ways and concerns. So, share some happenings. I'll start by saying, yeah, thanks everyone. This is good. I can't put into words how amazing it is.
Jing, today you're my joy. Just reflecting back on, we've been practicing together on and off for, oh my gosh, probably 5 or 6 years now. If I think of when I first met you, down in the Zendo. So I'm very happy to be here with you today and be a part of this journey for you. So welcome.
Good morning, Sangha. My name is Jueshinsu or Shane. I would like to pair it off of Sunshin. It's a joy to see you being ordained and to see Amko and see so many people here to support you. We've been practicing together for at least 9 years here. And I wanted to sneak one more joy in. I had a wonderful date last night. So thank you.
I'm going to echo off of that as well. It was a wonderful joy to take part in this ceremony today. I have a super special place in my heart for Jing Ryan because he was probably the first teacher that I developed a bond with here at the temple, and being my precept master when I took the precepts. And it was a wonderful experience for me. And it has continued from that point to be a wonderful experience. Just developing our relationship and getting to know you. My concern today is for your arm, most definitely. Okay, that looked. Ooh.
Right, that I realized I didn't thank my teachers by name. Thank you so much for the work you put in me. Thank you to my precept masters, Kaisu, Kisu, Dr. Juan, and all the other monks. Thank you all. Temple announcements. Remember, we have an online meditation group that meets on Wednesdays, 6 to 6:45. Got that. Online Thursdays from 9:30 to 11. We have a Dharma discussion group. I lead that, and really fun. Probably the rowdiest group we're off with. We're currently reading Zen and the Art of Saving the Planet by Thich Nhat Hanh. That's every Thursday. Buddhist Mutual Aid Sangha meeting has been moved to next month, second Tuesday next month. There's a board meeting. We're going to have the Buddhist Temple board meeting in Open Hall. That is Sunday, November 16th. Downstairs, we can file that by meet. The preceptor ordination Sunday, November 30th. Congratulations to all who will be there. We're going to have a potluck to celebrate preceptors. Bodhisattva training to begin at the beginning of the year, and that runs January through August. It's the first Saturday of each month. That's for people who are taking the precepts and keep going, keep their practice. It's pretty intensive. There's journaling. It's fun. I'll just start taking it in. So think about that if you're interested. And then we have Buddhist-based recovery meetings Mondays and Fridays here at the temple. Monday at 6:30, meditation 7. Your meeting, and then Wednesdays will be 12 at 6:30. And Fridays is 10 meditation. Like what your CSO.
I was going to get the drawing.
Okay. If you like what we do, and let's see us continue these time life on here. Again, it takes some the other announcement. There. So then we'll do our closing thoughts. Let's start with the three refuges. For these, and then we'll go from there into the closing thoughts. The three refuges are on page 3. I go for refuge to Buddha, my deeply awakened mind, the living source of understanding and compassion, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to Dharma, the path of mindful living, leading to healing, joy, and enlightenment, the way of peace, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to the Sangha, the loving and supportive community of practice, realizing harmony, awareness, and liberation, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I am aware that the three jewels are within my heart. I vow to realize them. I vow to practice mindful breathing and smiling, looking deeply into things. I vow to understand living beings and their suffering. I vow to cultivate loving kindness and compassion and to practice joy and equanimity. I vow to offer joy to one person in the morning and to help relieve the grief of one person in the afternoon. I vow to live simply and sanely, content with few possessions, and to keep my body healthy. I vow to let go of all worry and anxiety in order to be light and free. I am aware that I owe so much to my parents, teachers, friends, and all beings. I vow to be worthy of their trust, to practice wholeheartedly so that understanding and compassion will flower, and I can help living beings be free from their suffering. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. Now please turn to page 6 for the closing goblet. And we'll say together, for all unskillful actions ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thoughts, now I atone for them all. Vast is the robe of compassion, a formless field of benefaction. I wear the Buddha's teachings for the benefit of all sentient beings. All beings, one body, I vow to liberate. Endless blind passion, I vow to uproot. Dharma gates without number, I vow to enter. The great way of Buddha, I vow to attain. Now we could have this side of the room face that side, and this side face this side. Bow to each other. Thank you for coming, everyone. There'll be some food downstairs for a potluck event.
There's plenty to go around, so you doesn't have to.
Yeah, don't worry.
Come on down.